So I did up some numbers, and I thought I'd share them with you just because I found them intriguing. Um, they're basic numbers. I don't know if I have to put a disclosure or what, but I guess for the sake of that, these are our numbers. Um, they may not fit your situation. We try and do our best to be as accurate as possible, but I did have to make some educated guesses on what interest rate at the time might be and that sort of stuff. But I thought for somebody who's looking at doing MLI Select and they're kind of on the fence, what does it look like? Like how different are the numbers for basically a conventional mortgage that would not be insured, that doesn't involve MLI Select, just a typical lender that is loaning you the money based on an appraisal and that sort of stuff, versus what the final refinance would look like on an MLI Select program for someone that hits 100 points. I'll talk about the points system in maybe a different video, or maybe if I get long-winded enough that maybe it'll be part of this video, but we'll see. So the comparison that I'm doing, and again, these are our numbers. Just bear with me. But we've got the as is, sort of that template there, or what does it look like if we start putting some affordable units in? We qualify, we hit the 100 points with the MLI Select. What is the actual comparison at the end of the day actually look like? Okay, so in this particular case, we've got 18 units as the baseline model, or we've got a little bit of a switch up where we leave 16 as is, apples to apples with the original, but we take 2 of the units and we convert them into 3 smaller units, and in doing so, make those 3 smaller units affordable. So just doing that now, and this the math is that would get us to 70 points, 70 points out of the target of 100, just by adding that percentage affordable. So we don't get all the way. We would have to adjust some stuff in terms of energy efficiency. These are stacked townhouses, pretty near impossible to hit any of the accessibility options the way these ones are designed. But so we opted, we'll hit the 70 points for affordability, and then we'll get to 35 points, takes us up over the 100 with energy efficiency. And we've been talking to the fine folks at Building Knowledge about how to hit those energy efficiency targets and what that looks like. So, but for the sake of this example, we've got 18 units as the baseline, and then we've got 19 units as the MLI Select, but 16 would be comparable to the 18 baseline, and 3 are smaller and affordable rents. So that's where our targets are. If at the end of the day, and again, this is just for the sake of example, we assume that the value at the end of the 18 units is roughly comparable to the value at the end for the 19. Just because the 3 are going to be smaller, it's going to be roughly the same gross square footage for both. So again, trying to compare apples to oranges, I guess, we figure the value at the back end is going to be roughly the same. Now our hard cost, which actually doesn't really come into this comparison, it should, but now actually, obviously we're doing an extra kitchen. I guess we've got same number of bathrooms and that sort of stuff, but yeah, it's our hard costs are going to be almost exactly the same. Okay. Where we save some money, though, is in the development charges. So right now, the municipality that we're dealing in, they have their city portion of development charges are waived for the affordable units. They still charge the education component, because again, that's outside of their control, I guess. So if the development charges are, let's call it 60, and it's sort of 30-30, right? Or it's 100 and it's 50-50. But again, right now they're waiving their portion, not on the whole project, but on the actual affordable units. So that's certainly a savings. Then we've got that municipality is also kicking in for the accelerator, the housing accelerator fund that the federal government's put together. So if we can get the building permits in this year and move forward, that's going to save us a few extra dollars as well. But anyway, it's not my main way to show the comparison here. So if the value at the end of the day is, and the numbers I used is 11.5. Okay, so 11,500,000 for both, right? Because again, I'm trying to compare, make apples comparable to oranges. So we'll just bear with me on this. If we could get 75% loan to value on the back end, so when the building's complete and we're doing the refinance and we're taking the money out, basically we'd get to 75% loan to value. And we're going to assume, and it's always an assumption, but we're going to assume that the appraisal comes in at what we feel the value is at the back end. As an aside, yes, we've dealt in the past. We've been doing mortgages for over 20 years. The CMHC rental program, notorious for saying, hey, yeah, we'll do 90% loan to value, and then they come in with their own little modeling, and it ends up being the same loan to value that you would have gotten with an uninsured mortgage. But now you're paying insurance fees on that just because of how they calculate vacancies and maximum cap rate and that sort of stuff. So again, take everything I say with a grain of salt. This is just to try and give you an idea of how to compare option A versus option B. So if we assume value at 15 or 11.5 and max mortgage 75% loan to value, so you're around that $8.6 million mark. The issue there is you're under what the cost to build was, which is fine, right? Again, it's you've got some equity in the property, no problem, but you're not able to pull all the money that you had initially invested into the property out. Now you compare that to, again, I'm working off of max mortgage value. I'm not saying it's the prudent choice. I'm not saying that this is what anyone would do, but you can pull out up to 95% of the value through the MLI Select program, and that would give you about 11.2 million. Okay, so immediately you're $2.6 million more that you're able to pull out of the property. So that in of itself may convince someone to go MLI Select, period. Because they're going to take that extra money and invest in their next project, and the next, and the next, and the next. So again, when we talk to clients, and what they're looking to do is, I'm going to use Grant Cardone's terminology, but if they're looking to 10x their investment portfolio, and their whole focus is how do I get to 30 units, 50 units, 100 units under management. How, what can I do that I can take that chunk of equity that I have and, recycle it multiple times so that I'm 10xing, 100xing my portfolio. Again, big difference between conventional and the MLI Select program. Again, I mentioned this in a different video, but MLI just stands for mortgage loan insurance. So if I simply call it a Select, that's what I mean. Anyway, part 2 of that, and why people might just pull all the money out anyway. Maximum amortization. Let's assume that on a conventional mortgage, the most I can get is 25 years. And I'm sure there's certain programs that can do 30 years, but I'm going to assume 25 years out of the gate. Your mortgage payment on that, $8.6 million, is about $55,000 a month. Okay? 50-year amortization, lower rate because you're insured, and now you're working off of some of the best rates in the marketplace. The mortgage rate that I came up with, mortgage payment that I came up with was $46,000 a month. So immediately, you're about $9,000 different. That's monstrous. So you're getting an extra $2.5 million. You're paying $9,000 a month less for it. And I've included the fees. So CMHC is not doing this program for free. They're charging insurance premiums on it. Don't forget there's PST that's due up front. Again, some of these fees are monstrous. So to give you an idea, I hit all my calculations. So I've got the spreadsheet up, and that's what I'm constantly looking over at. But, even if your rents per month are a little bit less because you've gone the affordability route, and in our scenario, about $3,000 a month less. That $9,000, so I'm still net $6,000 up per month. So that's a huge number. And yeah, so if you use the MLI Select program right from the get-go, so you're using it for construction purposes, right? They'll do 95% loan to cost, which again is a huge advantage. Allows you to move forward with a project that maybe wouldn't be viable without that loan to value. And so with that, let's say you do 95% loan to cost, you're paying a 7% premium for CMHC. Okay. Now, on the back end then, if you can move forward with this quick enough, because it declines over time, but if you can move forward with this quick enough, then they will credit you a portion of that on the refinance. So again, I hit all the numbers, so I can't, let's see if I can give, so, an insurance premium of $450,000 roughly on the vertical construction financing, and then The refinance is actually more percentage-wise, but then you have to subtract the credit that you would receive on what you spent initially. So you're another $325,000 in my example. So again, even with those big numbers that you're adding, your monthly cost is still less. So if you're on the fence about using it, we can help you run those numbers. We can help you talk to the right mortgage companies about, who's doing what right now. The other benefit, and this is a whole topic for a different discussion, but how important is limited recourse? So if you hit 100 points with the MLI Select program, that's one of the benefits, is that whatever money you put in, CMHC's, that's all they have access to. They can't start going after and trying to target your other assets. So again, not the perfect program. Certainly there can be some delays on getting that stuff put together, but even with those delays, if you're moving with the right lender and the right people and the right builders, and Kingwell Fine Homes is certainly looking to help as many of the clients in and around Guelph, Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge. We'd love to help you, but if you're working with the right people and you can run the numbers appropriately, then I think you'll see this is a program that you don't want to miss, that you want to take advantage of. And let's sit down and talk. Thanks.